it's a bit like London buses. There's no West Ham news, so we don't really know what to speak about in Cup of Tea. We went to do the questions left over from Cup of Tea, and there's news since then. The last 2 nights has been news. Right, so what we got first of all. Matt Beard has left West Ham Women from mutual consent. The manager of West Ham Women's departed. Gonzo?
Yeah, it's not mutual consent,
He's been sacked, isn't he?
Of course he has. I watched... Do you remember when it first started, the BBC thing? And I know you were watching it. I didn't watch that first series. And for some reason, I found myself... Because it's on BBC Three, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, someone actually asked a question about that, so continue. You might need to cover it.
I wasn't... I don't know why it was on, which is funny because BBC Three is like an iPlayer thing, but for some reason it was on. I don't know if maybe they were doing repeats or something in lockdown. And there he was, and it was the second season, and he was not happy. Jack was not happy with the manager. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was basically that's the manager's fault. We got in these players, and he was grumpy. Jack Sullivan was very, very grumpy, very, very unhappy, and it was quite funny actually because they had a meeting, and he asked him to call a meeting, and Beardy, whatever his name is, he called this meeting with 3 of the players. One of them was definitely like an East End girl, and there were 2 who were sort of recent signings as well. And they had it out. It was quite interesting television, to be perfectly honest with you. But I remember thinking then, Jack don't like him very much. I don't think he's going to be around for much longer. And the games that they were featured in that episode, West Ham, I think one of them might have been a 3-3 actually, but West Ham had lost a couple of the other ones as well. So I never thought that he was going to be the sort of John Lyle of the ladies' team.
Yeah, I don't really know how the results have gone this season, to be honest with you. I know they won convincingly last night, I think, against Brighton. I think it was 4-0 or something. They won pretty well, but I seen Avit, who does our women's videos, might ask him to do one on the manager leaving and stuff. He'll know why and stuff like that. But I noticed that all the players have come out tonight on social media thanking him and stuff, so he's obviously well liked. You know, when the senior men's team, when the manager leaves, you're lucky if you get one player takes to social media, because most of them are glad to see the back of him. Most of them are like, yeah, go on, and there's usually like some form of player power behind the manager leaving anyway, but it doesn't really have that feel about this. It does feel like he had the respect and was well liked by people at the club as well. We'll see who comes in. Not that we're going to know or heard of them.
But he did take them to the FA Cup final.
Yeah, he did. He took them to the FA Cup final, and it depends what you want or what Jack Sullivan wants. I mean, as a very moderate fan of that team, I would consider that to be quite a success. Could we have Matt Beard at the men's team, please? I would not mind an FA Cup final. So it's just what you trying to achieve. Again, I know it's a bit less competitive, if you like. There's less teams, and the gulf between the top and the bottom is, the top 2 or 3 of women's football is massive, but after that it's quite competitive. So I don't know. Truth be told, mine and Gonzo's knowledge of that game isn't enough, but we'll call Av in eventually. Tell you what, do you know how David Moyes wanted the leaks to stop? Thursday night.
He's delivered a few.
Hooray! Tonight, Thursday night, Michael Antonio is going to his Twitch gaming over the last few days. I've seen he was playing COD with Spencer Owen when it came out. Anyway, Michael Antonio tonight is confirmed he's fit for Sunday. So, Moyes is gone. Next time Moyes is wondering who's leaking the team news, it's the guy himself. Michael Antonio confirmed on his Twitch stream tonight that he is training with the first team tomorrow, Friday, ahead of Sunday, and he's fit enough for the squad.
Has he got a channel?
Yeah.
Michael Antonio's got a channel?
Yeah.
Like a Twitch channel, which is like YouTube, but for gaming?
Yeah.
Do you reckon he says, don't forget to subscribe and stuff like that?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
do you reckon people give him donations?
You have to pay, I think. I think you've got to pay.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really watch any Twitch people of that, because it tends to be a gaming thing. I never understood the appeal of watching someone play a computer game, if I'm honest.
Well, what were you watching? You're watching someone else have fun.
Pretty much. I mean,
imagine if you could watch someone else watching a film.
I don't know, but then I bet there's a few videos you've watched where you've watched someone else having fun.
Yeah, but that's free. Apart from, remember that the Thailand thing. But anyway, it was £8 a month, wasn't it? Was that right?
Yeah, but so I think you can follow them for free, but you get adverts. But if you subscribe, you have to pay a few quid, and then you don't get adverts or something like that. The only reason I know is because I was watching True Geordie put up a video called "Leaving YouTube," and I thought, well, hello. And they're moving to Twitch now. The Kickoff's moving exclusively to Twitch, so they sort of have explained that you can watch it for free, or you can pay a few pounds and get no adverts or something. I've literally learned that about Twitch earlier this evening. So anyway, yeah, Michail Antonio leaked his own injury news on his gaming channel.
And not for free either. There you go.
No. Josh King is apparently back on the target list. We've had a lot of transfer rumours. Clarence Hughes exclusive tonight is that David Moyes still wants him. He still wants Josh King at West Ham. Do you think it's going to happen? It does feel. Sometimes you get a transfer, you do think there's something behind this. There's definitely something behind this. And I think Josh King's got that. It smells like a bargain.
He was definitely on his... When it looked like that Ben Rama thing was falling through, he was in a car travelling up the M3.
So
seriously, I know that.
I believe you. I remember that coming out and stuff. I completely believe you. Do you want him at West Ham? Ignore does David Moyes want him, because I think you're going to say yes because the manager wants him. I agree with that. But do you, Gonzo, think Josh King is a good enough player for West Ham United?
Oh, he's a good enough player for West Ham United, yeah. I know you're right. That's exactly what I was going to say. But yeah, I do. I think he's a better fit for what. If he's there for Antonio, great. What I don't want to see is Josh King coming in and us seeing less of Ben Rama because of it, because he's more functional on the left. I don't want to see the left-sided midfielder Josh King. I want Josh King to come in because he's more in the mould of Antonio, and I think that's. And David Moyes would be more inclined if Josh King's there to make a substitution at centre forward. I've already seen Yarmolenko come on a substitution at centre forward on two more occasions I'd like to. I've already seen Bowen come on one more occasion I'd like to. And I just think he'd be better prepared to protect Antonio if he felt he had confidence in the striker. I think he'd do that. I think you'd probably find him taking Antonio off 65 minutes to protect him for the next game, and King would come on and we'd keep our sort of shape basically and our style.
I don't know, Gonzo. I think he's alright. I think he's an alright penalty player, but I don't think he's great. I don't think he's... But it spells trouble for Sebastian Haller, though. Then what are we doing with him? You can't have him as our third choice striker. He's just too expensive. We cannot justify having someone. Forget the fact that he's cost 45 million. We can't have someone on $100,000 a week not making the squad at West Ham. And not only will it be Sebastian Haller, it'll be Andre Yarmolenko as well. So unless one of them leave, we're effectively going to be paying over £200,000 a week to two players to not be in the squad. Plus we've got the Felipe Anderson problem on the horizon, because Porto are being linked to Hulk, and if they get Hulk, apparently they're booting Felipe Anderson back to West Ham in January. They don't want him. He's already annoyed the wrong people in the club. So effectively we're going to have three players all on £100,000 a week plus. David Moyes is struggling to get into his squad, his bench, never mind starting. I don't want Josh King at West Ham because I think he's going to get in the way of someone. Now, whether that's Ben Rama or Sebastian Haller. Now, while I know people are going to say, hang on a minute, Haller's not working under Moyes, I appreciate that, but we've almost got. I feel like we've got to retain as much value as possible in Haller and sell him if that's the case.
No, I think he's off. I think he's off in January.
Do you?
Oh, 100%. Well, I say 100. I can't be 100%. Enough that I would put a fiver on it or whatever, and that's big bucks for me. I put tuppence on stuff, don't I? 90%. Sebastian Haller's going in January.
But how much we're going to get for him? Surely we're going to want 30 million of our money back, because I think Haller's different. When we go to sell a normal transfer deal player, you look at him and you think, well, like Felipe Anderson, 42 million or whatever, we probably look at it, we've probably only paid, or will only pay 30 million of it. The other 12 made up by us qualifying for European football, Anderson playing X games, scoring Y goals. It's not going to happen. The Sebastian Haller one seems extremely different, which is it's £45 million, boom. You've paid 22.5 up front, which they've got. You pay the rest in instalments, which they've got half of already. So we've effectively given Frankfurt around £35 million already for him, and we're still due the other 10 regardless of how well he does at West Ham. So even if we take 30, we're getting our money back and that's it. But we've got to give 10 million of that to Frankfurt. So it's just...
Yeah, I think it'd be a loan. I think it'd be a loan.
Oh, crikey, that's even worse.
Seriously, listen, I'm not breaking any news here. I don't know. I've made it all up, invented it in my own head, which is probably easier than inventing it in someone else's head. But I don't know how to do that. But I'm telling you, I think he's going to. I'm 90% certain he's going out on loan this January.
I can see it. I can see why. It's delaying the problem until the summer, isn't it? If someone can pay his wages, hopefully, then it means that we can sort it out in the summer.
Yeah, and gamble that he goes somewhere else and scores goals.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would do that, though. I do think if you loan, I think picking the right club to loan him to is important. I think whoever put Felipe Anderson's loan deal to Porto together deserves to be shot, because I think you've got to do your due diligence in buying a player. But I do think when you're loaning a player out, I think you've got to do it then as well. You've got to make sure you're sending them to the right club. It's more important for the youngsters. So Nathan Short, for example, are you sending him to a club that the keeper's either injured or crap? There's no point sending him to a League One club where the keeper's the best keeper in League One. What's the point in that? There's no point. It's silly.
Absolutely.
Send him to a club where he's going to get into the first team like that. And I think with the Felipe Anderson thing, I don't know enough about Porto, but I'm pretty sure you're to look at it, you'd be able to quickly find out that the manager would not like Felipe Anderson's in-game attitude, which is a bit timid and stuff, because he's seen him for about half an hour and decided, no, I don't want that guy in my club.
No.
So clearly...
He could have watched one of our videos.
But the thing is, the club should have worked out that Porto manager is not going to like Felipe Anderson if he turns up like that. Of course Felipe Anderson's going to turn up like that, so they shouldn't have sent him there. They should have sent him to somewhere that actually they're grateful for having someone like Felipe Anderson at the club, that he's going to play every week. Even if he's rubbish, they're still going to play him because he's better than anyone else. He's the best player. They've sent him to a club that don't really need him. They took him because he's on loan and we're probably paying half his wages, so they thought, yeah, we'll take him for £40,000-50,000 a week, that'll do. Man just had one sniff at him, thought, oh, this guy's rubbish. Bench and he's not getting on. So I just think we've almost failed Felipe Anderson. Of course Felipe takes the blame because he's gone out there and stunk the place out already. But whoever sent him there, whoever approved that loan deal, was looking at one thing only, and that is getting the wages off the books as quick as possible and as long as possible. But while they're doing that, his value is depreciating so rapidly. It's probably more what we've lost in transfer market value in Felipe Anderson, probably more than the wages we've saved. So that's what I'm worried about.
No, it really has. That's not worked out. But you got a gamble, and all I would say on this Sebastian Haller thing, and I'd like to say it now, just because I do think it will happen, and I don't want to act like I'm saying it after the event. So just in case anybody was watching this video that was particularly going to have any say in the deal at all, it's really important when you arrange the loan deal for Sebastian Haller that you don't get desperate and you don't give the loanee the option to buy at a low price, because the gamble is that he goes out and he scores really well, and what you want to do is you want to invite a bidding frenzy, basically. So what you want to do, the idea of the loan is for Sebastian Haller to go out and get as close to a 45 million striker as he possibly can be in the second half of the season. If what you do is think we're absolutely desperate for cash, if you take his wages, give us a loan fee of 3 million, and then you can take him for 25. That's the wrong thing to do. Just so as I just would like to put that out there now. You might give him first refusal. There's something, or you put a clause in, say, if you match whatever another highest bidder matches, you can have him. But no, you want him to look like one of the best strikers in Europe again, and then get a bidding frenzy, so as he becomes a valuable asset.
I can see that. I can see if they get the loan right and they get Josh King in, it makes sense to an extent. I just think it's a bit. I think it's maybe because we're big Allaire fans. It's almost disappointing because watching a player with that ability walk out the door.
Mm.
And I think
I'll spend that much money, Geo, for West Ham. It's a big thing. I don't know, I think there's times I probably never thought I'd see West Ham spend £45 million on a player, and we did, and we have, and it's sad that it would end that way, And
I just hope it doesn't put them off spending £45 million on another player in case they get their fingers burnt again. Not that we can afford it. But anyway, last question. Keep an eye on the time. Don't want to go too long. It's from Jamie. Jamie sent this question in. We didn't do it in a cup of tea because I thought it was quite a good one. It says, do you both feel the same way as me about relegation? he never worried about it while at Upton Park, and he somewhat enjoyed the 2011-12 season. He personally wouldn't be able to hand it at the London Stadium. He now fears relegation 10 times more than when we were at Upton Park. So that was sent in by Jamie Main on Twitter at mplaysjm. So Jamie, good question. I like them kind of questions. Gonzo.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been used to lots of relegations, to be fair. I mean, first time I ever sort of really remember my first ever awareness of a season was 1980, and we weren't a top division team anyway. Even at that point, we're up and down, and yeah, I wouldn't say it didn't impact me. I never liked getting relegated, but you know, you'd still go and you'd win. It was quite good because you'd win more games, but there wasn't this big disparity between, you know, Sky money and whatnot. So, you know, people could come up, people could get promoted, people could, crikey, an average sort of league team could get a good manager like Nottingham Forest and Brian Clough and go and win the European Cup twice, which is what they did. So there wasn't the big same thing about getting relegated. Now relegation didn't mean the end of your club, and I think now you look at it, and I think would it be the end of West Ham? I think it'd run us quite close. To be honest with you, I think you've got it's crazy. We haven't been in stadiums for such a long time, but if we base the answer on the fact that fans go to stadiums and the stadiums full, I think we've lost our home advantage in that sense. I think we've lost any influence the fans can really have on what goes on the pitch because the fans are too far away. I don't think us as fans can intimidate the opposition players. I also don't think the building can intimidate the opposition players. I know that sounds crazy. How can sort of bricks and mortar sort of intimidate, but it can. You know, it can. You know, the closeness to the setting, the familiarity of the setting, the history that sort of emanates from the building itself, the unpleasantness of the. I don't know, the rusty old showers and whatever it might have been. It's just not they don't think they're walking into a 5-star hotel. And as much as we might not like the London Stadium as an experience as fans, some of us, actually it's very luxurious inside. I'm lucky enough to have been in both dressing rooms, the Upton Park dressing rooms and the London Stadium ones. And the London Stadium ones, like the Starship Enterprise, like a spaceship in there. It's massive baths, loads of showers, and I mean, you know, you go to the Upton Park one, all the grout had gone sort of mouldy and black in between the, you know, and they had one tiny little, actually had two things, had a really cold freezing bath and then a hot bath, and they're going from one to the other, but they were tiny, they were about the size of 3 normal baths you'd have in your bathroom. These things like swimming pools, they've got a running track in there. I reckon these championship teams would go there. They don't even have to see the fans because there's a gated car park where they just, you know, they drive in their coach, they get off, 5-star meal, probably definitely the best changing rooms that would be in the whole division. It would feel like a hotel going, and I think, wow, look at this. They wouldn't think, oh crikey, we're in a nasty cauldron, West Ham's cauldron. They'd walk in there and think, wow, the Olympic Stadium, wow, this is where Usain Bolt did the old, you know, and all the rest of it. And I don't think it'd be intimidating in the least.
Yeah, I do fear. I often say on here, I don't fear relegation. People say, oh, we could get relegated. I maybe word it wrong. What I say is I don't mind getting relegated. It doesn't bother me, really, as a fan. What changes, the people you play and the players that play for your team kind of thing, that changes, but it's just a league at the end of the day. And like you said, there's advantages. You win more games. The away games are slightly better for those that do go to them. You get to go to better grounds, essentially football grounds, rather than what's getting built at the moment. So it's got its sex appeal getting relegated. But I do think, in terms of James' question, do you feed it for the football club? Completely. I think for the reasons Gonzo said, but also how many people would turn up at that ground is another question. Who's turning up to see us play Wycombe Wanderers? You know, there'd be the West Ham fans, and that's it. There'd be no tourist attraction appeal there whatsoever. You might as well close the upper tier, I think, to be honest with you. I was thinking I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 of the stands, maybe the upper tier would be closed for some games, because you'd have to move all the season ticket holders down as much as possible so you can have that facility, because with us not owning the stadium, the first thing the stadium owners are going to say is, right, well, we need to cut costs here, and that is shutting that upper tiers down. If we shut down that upper tier, that gives you 50,000 people. You've only had an attendance of 42,000 for the last 6 games, so why do we have to have the whole thing open? We can close that bit off and save a little bit of money. The takeover, what would happen there, the potential takeover, if you like. Even Sullivan and Gold have to accept minimal for the club and make a small profit, or get us back into the Premier League. That I think goes amiss. I don't know. I just think I don't want to say ruin the football club, but it would make West Ham even more different than what it already is now compared to when it was at Upton Park. I just think it'd be an awful experience, and I think the danger is it's coming. It's now. If Jamie's also talking about in the immediate future, next season's a bad season for football clubs, really, because a lot of fans have got used to not going now. A lot of fans now, the appeal of going to the games is no longer there, and I don't even mean the risk of COVID. I mean they've just got used to sat in their house watching the games on the telly or streams or whatever. And the thing with going to the games and stuff, I know people have given up their season tickets, as does everyone watching this. And I think most people would say when you get used to not going, you're fine. You don't miss it that much. You miss the routine, you miss seeing your friends and that. But once you've done it for 2 or 3 months, you don't miss it anymore. And I think we've almost all done that. We've almost all had that cleanse. Of course we miss it, but what do you miss? Do you miss the football, or do you miss meeting up with people for a drink and stuff? And I'm not convinced it's necessarily the football part of it. If I offered you, do you want to go to the boats and meet people, but you're not allowed to go to the game, you've got to go home after it, but you can watch the game on the boats and then go home? Or do you want to go to the football, you don't get to see anyone, but you get to go to the West Ham game, watch football and go home? Which would you pick? I think most people would pick the first option. And that's dangerous for football clubs. Throw in a relegation of a badly run football club, that's not good. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. So yeah, do I fear it more as a fan, as a West Ham fan? No. As do I fear it for the football club? Completely. A lot more than what I did at Upton Park. Anyway, shall we leave it there, Mr. Gonzo?
Yeah, we've done well, mate. We've done well. It's a very, very stretched out cup of tea this week.
Yeah, lots. There's another channel. There's another video over on the forum channel as well. The link is in the description as always, so go check that one out if you haven't already. Drop a like on both videos. Subscribe to both channels. Myself and Gonzo are back on tonight, Friday night, or tomorrow night. I don't know when I'm uploading this. What time is it?
It's 9:15.
Oh, decisions. I think I'll just keep it for morning or put up late.
I think so.
I'll keep it for morning. So Friday morning. This is Friday morning.
Happy Friday.
Enjoy your weekend. Tonight, tonight myself and God's got the Sheffield United preview at 6 p.m. We'll be taking a look at both teams. Both teams have got quite a few injury doubts. Not Mikel Antonio. Not him. He's told us he's all right. Anyway, Gonzo.
Subscribe to his channel.
I'll see you later. Tomorrow night, but later. I'll see you later.
Later. See you tomorrow.
Catch you in a bit.